Good morning, students. Now we'll be cover a few applications regarding the Gauss law. Suppose if you have in a uniform electric field, this is a uniform electric field. In this uniform electric field, if you place a body, so if you place a body, whether it is not enclosing any charge, just we are taking a closed one body which is a sphere or whatever it is there, so which is placed in a uniform electric field, then if it is not enclosed any charge, net flux through it is 0. Or else you can also take, if this is the uniform electric field, if you take a cylindrical body like this, and if it is the cylinder does not enclose any charge, but even if you locate inside the uniform electric field, how much of flux will enter inside it? The same amount of flux will be leave out from the other side. That's why net flux passing through this closed surface when it is located in a uniform electric field is 0. So we can understand that the net flux through it is 0. So this is you can understand. Next, if a body encloses a charge like this, we discussed if the charge Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So what is the flux through this closed surface in the sense? The flux through the closed surface is flux phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by the surface only. What is the net charge? The charge which is outside does not produce any flux through it. The flux through this closed surface is nothing but the charge enclosed by this closed surface. That is, we can write as a Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. Whether it is Q1, Q2, Q3, whether they are positive charges or negative charges, you can take it. So the net flux through the closed surface is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by it. Next, we can take that if a hemispherical surface is there, the electric field is parallel to the base, if the electric field is perpendicular to the base, and if any charge is located at the center of the base, so what is the flux through it? We can discuss it. Let us suppose we have like this. If a hemispherical surface is taken, if a uniform electric field is, first one, parallel to base, second one, perpendicular to the base, and third one, if a charge Q is placed at the center of the base, the charge Q is located at the center of the base. So these three cases we will be discussing now. So we have hemispherical surface like this. This is a hemispherical surface, and this is a base, and whose radius is r. Let us suppose this is the center of the base, and whose radius is r. What is first case? The uniform electric field is parallel to the base. So if the uniform electric field is parallel to the base, in the sense the electric field intensity is parallel to the base like this, because inside the conductor electric field will not be passing, that's why we are not showing it like that. So this is the uniform electric field direction, and this base having area, that area is pi r square, and area vector is always normal to the surface and it is outwards of it. That's why its area vector is, this is area vector A1. So electric field intensity, direction of electric field intensity and area vector at the base is perpendicular to each other. So this body having two surfaces. One is, this is the curved surface. Another one is, this is the plane surface. So flux through it is nothing but flux through curved surface as well as the flux through the plane surface. But already we discussed in the previous cases also, if any closed surface, if it is not encloses any charge inside it, the net flux through it is 0. The same way here, this hemispherical surface, it doesn't enclose any charge. If it doesn't enclose any charge, the total flux through curved surface plus plane surface is equal to 0. So what you can write from this? The total flux or net flux. What is net flux? Flux through CS means curved surface plus flux through plane surface, that is base. Total it is equivalent to 0. Why? Since it does not enclose any charge. Since we can write it does not enclose any charge. It does not enclose any charge. So you can observe here the plane surface if you taken. At the plane surface, flux is nothing but we can write as a scalar product of electric field intensity vector and area vector. So flux through plane surface is nothing but we can write as electric field intensity vector and the area vector dot product we can write. Electric field intensity is E and area vector A, as well as the angle between them you observe here. The electric field intensity area vector both are perpendicular to each other. Then what happens here? Cos 90, then flux through plane surface is 0. If flux through plane surface is 0, that if you substitute in it, so flux through curved surface even 0 only. Therefore, we can also write that flux through curved surface is also be 0. So, in this case, if the hemispherical surface is there, if it is a uniform electric field is parallel to the base, then total flux is 0, means the flux through curved surface as well as the flux through plane surface both are equivalent to 0 only. That is, you can understand. So that is the first case. Net flux is 0 when electric field intensity parallel to the base. Second case is electric field is perpendicular to the base. Perpendicular to the base in the sense like this. If electric field is perpendicular to the base, what will happen? That we will discuss it. Now we will see the electric field is like this. The electric field is the second case I am going to discuss the second case perpendicular to the base. So electric field intensity is in this direction. Electric field intensity is in this direction here. Now, electric field vector upwards and area vector is downwards here. You can observe this one through the plane surface. This is electric field intensity vector and area vector. What is the angle between these two now? Angle is nothing but 180 degrees. Now you can observe this is also only the direction of the electric field changed, But even this hemisphere does not encloses any charge inside it. If it does not enclose any charge means the same case, the total flux through curved surface plus plane surface, totally it is equivalent to 0. So net flux through curved surface plus plane surface is 0. But here you can do one thing. What about the plane surface here? The flux through plane surface is nothing but we can write as scalar product of electric field intensity and area vector. So what is the angle between these two? 180 degrees. So earlier case it is perpendicular, that's why total flux through plane surface is 0. But here it is not like that, because angle in between electric field intensity and area vector is 180 degrees. Net flux is not 0. So we can write EA cos 180. Then E into what is the area vector? Area is nothing but pi r square minus 1, that is E into pi r square. This is the electric flux through plane surface. So electric flux through plane surface is this much, and this is if you substitute this expression in this formula, then electric flux through curved surface is how much is. So electric flux through curved surface, plane surface is minus E into pi r square equal to 0. Therefore electric flux through curved surface is nothing but plus E into pi r square. Then you can understand that what is the electric flux through plane surface is minus of E into pi r square. Electric flux through curved surface is plus of E into pi r square. Therefore the net flux is equivalent to 0 only. But individually they ask you, the electric field is perpendicular to the base, what is the flux means? Directly you should not say total flux through the body is 0. But if they ask what is the flux through particularly the plane surface, what is the flux through curved surface means, you should not say it is 0. We have the expressions like this. Through plane surface means minus E into pi r square. Through curved surface means plus E into pi r square. But through total body is 0. Okay. So this is the case when electric field intensity is or perpendicular to the base. So second case is like that. Now if you come to the third one, if a charge Q is placed at the center of the base, if the charge Q is located at the center of the base, we can discuss the electric field. What is the total flux through it? We can discuss it. Just now I am taking that. Here the third case we are going to discuss it now. Here this is center. Exactly at the center, if charge Q is located, this is the third case we are discussing. If a charge Q is placed at the center of the base, the charge Q is placed at the center of the base. Now what will happen? The electric field is radially outwards of the sphere. Now to enclose this charge, we can imagine what another hemisphere like this. We can construct another hemisphere. Now this is the closed body. Another hemisphere, if you construct it, what will happen? So this charge is completely enclosed by this sphere. So total flux through this entire sphere is nothing but what? Q phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by this sphere. But we want only the flux through upper part only, that is means half of it. So electric flux through half of it means that is nothing but 1 by 2 times the Q by epsilon naught. Now you have to understand. So if your charge is taken here, we can close this charge by constructing another half, another imaginary sphere. Then this is the closed body. Then charge electric flux through this closed surface is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by this closed surface. So net flux through the, you can understand that net flux through closed surface, net flux through the closed surface is what we can write, flux is equals to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by this totally closed one. What is the net charge enclosed by this closed one? Q only. That's why we can write as a Q by epsilon naught. But we need the flux through only half of it. Means this is the electric field lines, only through upper half only we want it. Upper half means that is half of the closed surface. That is half of the closed surface means so half of the this one. Therefore we can write net flux through hemisphere. Hemisphere is nothing but 1 by 2 times the Q by epsilon naught. Then we can write Q by 2 epsilon naught. This is what net flux through hemisphere. If a charge is located at its center. So based on this you can understand one point that one thing we can discuss it that if a charge is there, if a charge is located inside it, what kind of shape of the body the charge encloses? What kind of shape of the body the charge encloses? The total flux is remain same. That is 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. For example, you can observe the things like this. If a sphere is there, exactly at the center, if a charge Q is located, the total flux through this closed surface is nothing but flux phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by it. Similarly, if you take a cylinder like this, here exactly at the center the charge Q is present. Then what is the flux through this cylinder? If I ask, the flux through this cylinder is nothing but phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by it. Here net charge enclosed is Q. Similarly, if you take a Q, in this also, if a charge at the center is Q, then what is the flux through this cube is nothing but you can write as a flux phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed. The net charge enclosed is Q. So you observe here, this is spherical in shape, this is cylindrical in shape, this is in cubical in shape. In all these cases, the charge enclosed is same. That's why the amount of flux through these closed surfaces, irrespective of shape, the flux passing through, the flux emanates from these closed surfaces remains same. That is 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by it. So this is the point you have to understand, whether it is in spherical shape, whether it is in cylindrical shape, whether it is in cubical shape, whatever shape it is, the flux through that body is nothing but how much of charge enclosed by that closed surface we need to be taking. Now you can observe the cases like this. Let us suppose one more point. We have a plane surface like this. So whose length is A? Or A, whose side length is A. So from this surface, at a distance A by 2, center, a distance A by 2, here we have a charge Q is located. So you observe clearly that we have a square plate whose side length is A. From above the closed plane surface at a distance A by 2, we have a charge Q. The question is, what is the flux passing through this surface? So because this charge will be emits electric field lines. So how much of flux will be passes through this plane or plane surface, they are asking. But Gauss law we can apply for closed surface. But you observe, is it a closed surface here? No. So we can make it a closed surface by constructing the other faces. So how many other surfaces, means other faces are required to close this charge? That is, you have to know it. So how many other faces or other planes or other faces are required to enclose this charge? Means those are like this, you can understand. So you can observe that this is one, this is another one, this is another one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Totally, how many faces are there to close this charge? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, front 5, back side 6. Totally, how many faces are there? Here 5, 6. Totally 6 such kind of symmetrical surfaces are required to enclose this charge. So through these 6 surfaces, the total flux is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed by this closed one. So now it is closed surface. What is the flux through this total closed surface? The flux through closed surface is phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. But our intention is here, we need to find flux through this only one side. Flux through only one part, in the sense this is flux through complete closed body, but flux through only one symmetrical surface means how many symmetrical surfaces we taken here? 6. So for 6 it is 1 by epsilon naught times the Q, means for 1 it is 1 by 6 epsilon naught times the charge. Therefore, flux through one surface is, how many surfaces are there? Out of from 6, totally from 6, this much of flux is emanating, means from 1, how much of flux will emanate? That is, flux through 1 is nothing but, otherwise you name it as a P or A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So flux through this A, B, C, D surface or A, B, C, D plane is A, B, C, D, that is equal to 1 by 6 times the Q by epsilon naught. That is Q by 6 times the epsilon naught. This is the total flux through one side. Based on this, you have another cases that, let us suppose, if a cube is there, if a cube exactly at the center, charge is located through completely throughout the cube, how much of flux is emanating? 1 by 6 times the charge. So flux through one surface, out of 6 surfaces, flux through one surface is nothing but q by 6 epsilon naught. This is the case when the charge is located at the center of the q. Next we go further. The charge is located like this. We have the case like this. If the charge is located, this is q. This is a q. The charge is located here on one side, one face. The charge q is located at one face. To enclose this charge, what we need? We need the another kind of such a cube we need to be constructed on the right hand side. So our intention is what is the flux through this cube due to this charge we want it. But Gauss law, if you want to apply, what we need? So we have to be enclose the charge. How can you enclose this charge? Means same kind of here we need to be constructed. Same another cube we can able to construct through this. Then what will happen through this charge? The electric flux will be passes half through this side, half through this side. Then flux through this one we want it actually. So the flux through this one is nothing but half of the flux produced by this total one. What is the flux produced by these two cubes together is total flux through two cubes is 5 equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. You observe here, this is the flux through two cubes, but we need only the flux through left cube only. So that's why what happens here, only half of it. That's why flux through, we can write that flux through the flux through one cube is 5 equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught times the net charge. Otherwise you can write half of this, that is q by 2 epsilon naught. So this is the flux through one cube. If the charge is located at the one of the face of the cube, total flux through the cube is nothing but half of the q by epsilon naught. Next case, if the charge is located at the edge of the cube, you can see that the next case is like this. If charge q is located at the charge q is located at the edge of the cube. So let us take, this is the cube. You can have a cube like this. Then if I place a charge exactly at the edge of this cube, like this here, I located the charge cube here. So if the charge q is located at the edge of the cube, to enclose this charge, how many such kind of cubes we need to be construct around this charge means right side one, above another one, here another one, totally 3 more required. So you can understand that here like this we need to be constructed. Like this, and another one is like this. Like here we need to be construct the totally 1, 2, 3, 4. So this charge can be enclosed by constructing 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 cubes are required to close this charge. So the total flux through these 4 cubes is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed by these 4. So we can write that total flux through these 4 cubes is total flux through these 4 cubes is that flux phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed by this 4, that is nothing but q only. So we write 1 by 4 epsilon naught times the q. But our intention is the flux through this part, only 1 cube. The flux through 1 cube is nothing but, the flux through this cube is nothing but only 1/4 of it. Because we have 4 cubes. So through 4 cubes this much is there. The flux through 1 cube is nothing but 1/4 of it. That is the flux through the cube is flux through 1 cube is, that is phi through 1 cube is nothing but 1 by 4 times the q by epsilon naught, that is q by 4 epsilon naught. This is the thing. And one more case, flux through 1 cube we discussed as 1 q by 4 epsilon naught. One more question they are asking. Flux through each surface of the cube. Flux through each surface means, so when this kind of arrangement is there, how many faces can be seen? So you understand, this one is covered with these two. So this is covered with the 4th cube, this is covered with the 2nd cube. So these faces are not able to see. So which faces are open? 1, 2, front one, back side one. Totally 4 faces are can see. Means only the flux will come out through these 4 faces only. So actually through 1 cube flux is q by 4 by epsilon naught. Then if they ask the question in one more way, what is the flux through each face means, through 1 cube flux means q by 4 by epsilon naught through 1 face. 1 face means you should not take the 6 faces. Why? Because only through 4 faces only the flux will come out. That's why you have to take 1 by 4 of q by 4 by epsilon naught. Then it will be 1 by 16 epsilon naught. So don't confuse that. Here cube means through faces. 1 face means we need 6 faces. We have 6 faces for the cube means out of these 6 faces, these faces are not covered with what? Other cubes. That's why through that we won't be considered. Which faces can be visible and which can be seen, through that only the flux will come out. So how many faces can be seen means the cube front, back, and this one and this one. Totally 4 faces can be seen. That's why flux through 1 face in the case of charge is located at the edge of the cube is you can write flux through one face of the cube is flux through the one face of the cube is nothing but 1 by 4 of through one cube is q by 4 epsilon naught. That's why it is totally it is q by 16 epsilon naught. This is the flux through what? One face of the cube. When the charge is located clearly, so this is not for all cases, when the charge is located at the edge of the cube, in such case flux through one cube is q by 4 pi epsilon naught, flux through the one face is q by 16 epsilon naught. These points you have to remember it. Now we discussed the cases. The charge is located at the center of the cube. Total flux is q by epsilon naught. Through each face is q by 6 epsilon naught. The charge located at the one face of the cube, what is the total flux is through one cube is q by 2 epsilon naught. Next case, if the charge is located at the edge, flux to the cube is nothing but q by 4 epsilon naught. Flux to each face in the sense q by 16 epsilon naught. So we discussed when the charge located at the center, we discussed when the charge is located at the face, we discussed when the charge is located at the edge. Now we will go for the next case that the charge is located at the corner of the cube. So corner of the cube, if the charge is located, what is the flux through each cube and what is the flux through each face, that is we will be discussing now. So if the charge is located at the if the charge is q is located at the corner of the cube, corner of the cube, let us check it this one. This is a cube we have. Like this. So if this cube is there, we are locating a charge at the one corner. So this is only one corner I have. At this corner, I am placing a charge q. So if the charge is located at one of the corner, say in a room if you taken, like a room you can understand that, if the cube is here, how many cubes we need to be construct to close this charge when it is at the what corner? So how many we require means, if this is the room, one corner is there means, the corner can be covered with back side, one, above one, this side above one, that side same, this side totally how many will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly back side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally how many means 8 rooms will be having the same corner will be shared with totally what? 8 rooms. Same way, this corner will be, we have this corner will be shared with 8 rooms like this. Here we have this side one, this side one, this side one. totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 backside, 6, 7 and backside. Totally we have 4. Below 4, above 4. Totally how many is there means 8 cubes will be present. So 8 cubes in the sense the total flux through 8 cubes is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by it. So we can write that the flux through so how many we constructed here to close the charge, we need 7 more cubes. See, 1 cube we have. To cover this charge, how many extra we took here? 7 more cubes. So totally how many cubes is enclosed this charge means 8 cubes. Then we have that the flux through 8 cubes is phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed by this 8 cubes, that is Q only. So flux through 8 cubes is 1 by epsilon naught times the charge. But our intention is flux through 1 cube. This is the cube we need. So from 8 cubes we have 1 by epsilon naught times the charge means through 1 cube how much flux will be passes means flux through 1 cube, that is flux through 1 cube is nothing but 1 by 8 times the q by epsilon naught, that is q by 8 epsilon naught. So if a charge is located at the corner of the cube, the total flux through the cube, 1 cube is 1 q by 8 epsilon naught. And here we need one more thing. What does that means? What is the flux through each phase? Flux through each phase means I told you we should not consider the phases of entire cube. We need to be consider the phases which can be seen. So which can be seen means if 4 rooms were there, so 4 rooms were there means here 1, 2, the back side one will be shared with the other rooms. Only which are visible? The front one and left one and bottom one, means 1, 2, 3. Only 3 faces can be seen. So through these 3 faces only the flux will be emanate outwards. So we can write that out of the q by 8 epsilon naught means through one phase means how many faces can be seen here? This phase, because this phase is shared with this one, it is not seen. The backside face is shared with another one, which is backside one. This side is shared with this one. So only which faces are visible? 1, 2, the front one. So only 3 faces are visible, and we can see. So 3 faces we can see in the sense the flux through one face is nothing but 1 by 3 times the charge through 1 cube. That is flux through one phase is flux through one phase is nothing but 1 by 3 times. Only 3 phases can be seen here. Can be seen. That's why only here we have taken that 1 by 3 times the q by 8 epsilon naught. Then we have q by 24 epsilon naught. So this is the case of when the charge is located at the corner of the cube. So edge of the cube through one face is q by 16 epsilon naught. If the charge is located at the corner means the flux through each face is q by 24 epsilon naught. So this is the thing you should be understand clearly then. And one more case, if any continuous charge distributed bodies are closed or enclosed by the closed surface, What is the net flux through it? Let us suppose we have a case like this. We taken a cube like this. We taken a cube like this. So a thin charged conducting wire having linear charge density lambda is passing from one corner to the another corner. So we have a cube like this. So in this cube we are located, we placed a linearly charged conductor. The conductor is passing from diagonally means that corner to this corner like this here. The conductor is like this. And this side length is L. So we have a charged conductor like this, having linear charge density is lambda. So if a cube is enclosed a linear charged conductor of charge density lambda. So because of this charged conductor, so this encloses some charge. Then what is the flux through this cube? The flux through this cube means what is the flux? How can we calculate the flux? The flux is nothing but, according to the Gauss law, flux is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed by this closed loop surface. So this is the closed surface enclosed how much charge that we need to be considered. Let us see from here to here some length of the conductor was present inside the cube. So how much of charge is present in this length if you want it? What is the procedure we know? If you have the linear charge density lambda, the charge if you want it, so you need to be multiply the charge density, linear charge density into length of the conductor here. So net charge enclosed is nothing but linear charge density lambda into length of conductor inside the cube we need to be taken. Inside the cube. So inside the cube how much length is there? How can we calculate? We know the side length of the cube. So side cube means all the side lengths are same. Then this is L. So this is diagonal. So base diagonal. Base diagonal means these two are perpendicular. So this base diagonal is root of L square plus L square means root 2L, because these two appears like that, but these two are perpendicular like this. Perpendicular. So L square plus L root over L square plus L square means root 2L. Now this diagonal to here this length. This length. You observe again this is what? Right angle to each other. L and the root 2L, and this is the hypotenuse. Then we can write this as L square plus root 2L square, that is 2L square. Totally it will be what? Root 3 times the L. Root 3 times the L. So how much of length is enclosed by the cube is nothing but root 3L. So we can write net charge enclosed is Q net equal to lambda into root 3L. Therefore flux through cube is nothing but, therefore flux through cube is equal to, what we can write, 1 by epsilon naught the net charge. Net charge is nothing but linear charge density into length of the conductor present inside the cube. So inside the cube from one diagonally opposite corners, passing it is diagonally opposite corners means that length is root 3L. So linear charge density into root 3L we taken. Therefore we can write flux to the cube is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the charge place, you can write root 3L. That is root 3 lambda L by epsilon naught. This is the flux through this cube. And like this we have several applications. This will be continuing in the next class.